forwarding this. Right. Now we'll try to make our own network to really understand ARP protocols, MAC address table, and how they work. Quickly, pay attention to this. So I'll take, for example, some PCs, 1, 2, 3, 4 PCs. Okay, I have 4 PCs here. I'll take a switch quickly from the center. I'll take 2960. Now I'll give IP addresses to my PCs. I'll configure them later. 192.168.10.10. I'm starting from this address, and I'll give this one later 10.11. Does that make sense? And here this will be 10.12, and this will be 10 what? 13. This is step number 1. So I'll go and give IP addresses quickly. This is the IP address 10.10, and the default gateway later we will do it when we configure the router. Okay, it will be 192.168.10.1. Does that make sense? Tamam. Run. We'll go to this one. This is 11. We go here, configure it, and make sure this is what? 11. And all the devices in the same LAN, they have the same what? The same default gateway. So now I am configuring IP addresses and configuring default gateways. Hopefully things are getting clear now. I just give them IP addresses. What's the address now? 13, right? And the default gateway is the same for everybody. Good? Tamam. I'll bring a router, any router, doesn't matter, by the way. I'll just put it here. Now the switch. I'll connect my devices to the switch. Fast Ethernet 0. So this one, I want, for example, 0, 1. Which port يا بنات? 0, 1. تمام? Okay. And this one is going to be what? I'll use this عشان ما ننسى. 0 what? 2. And I think I mixed the IP addresses, by the way. I will come here and say this one 03, and this one what will be 04. بس خليكم معي شوي. I think the IP address هون is 13, right? And this IP address is what? Is 12. So I need to make this 13 and the other one 12. Good. So let me actually now or مين كان أحسن هو? Change this word to what? Change what? طبعا now there will be a problem in the computer, in the topology. What is it? You cannot have 2 devices with the same what? So this is 12. خلاص رجعنا 12 احنا, but I'll change also what? This is just a title يا بنات here. I'll change this title to 12. تمام. So this will be 12, and this one, okay, I'll make this one 13. Yeah, I'll just make it 13, 1. And now this is what? Should be what? This should be 12. And this is what now? 13, because you cannot have the same name even. Now, is it correct now? So look at the topology now. Do you know the IP addresses everybody's connected to? ماشي? طيب. I believe we studied the MAC address table of the switches, and if you want to see the contents of the switch MAC address table, okay, if you want to see the contents, there is a simple command. You can go and do it. If you don't remember the command, you can just click here on this magnifier and click on the switch, and you are telling the switch to show what? MAC table. Is it empty, Abana? Because still no traffic. No one contacted anyone. Type. Now I need to connect the router. I really don't remember what we have on this router. We have some ports. Zoom in. Okay, we have some port. Gigabit Ethernet. Tamam? Yani we have LAN interfaces. That's fine. So I'll try to connect the router. Gigabit Ethernet 3 zeros. I will delete it. I'll take a simpler names yani to make your life easier. Tamam? I'll take 119.41, for example. Let me see what ports we have here. Gigabit Ethernet 00, and to the switch, I'll use 01. Does that make sense? So the router, which port I'm using, Abanat? GI00. How to configure it? Yalla قولوا لي. Like any other port. If you go to console port, of course, because this is a router, you say yes or no. If it's a router, they ask you yes or no. You say what? If you say yes, what happens? They ask you 3 million questions, right? So yalla, enable. Good. Conf T. Which port I need to configure يا بنات? GI00, yeah. So how to configure it? بسرعة. Interface GI00. Very simple. Interface VLAN 1. Interface FE10. How to give it an IP address? IP address 192.168.10.1. What's the subnet mask? 0. Enter. No shut. Was it the same way we did with VLAN 1 and all other things? Yes or no, Evan? So how to configure any port in the world? Interface, port name, IP address, and what? Subnet mask. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So this is how we configure the router. And see now, the router is connected to which port, ya banat, on the switch? GI 0. Good. طيب يلا now. Ya banat, I will go to simulation. Before I go to simulation, let us go to the devices here. Disk command prompt. ARP -A. What's ARP -A? I am asking the device, give me your ARP table. Is it empty? No activities. I'll go to this device again. Command prompt. ARP -A. Is it empty? Type. I want to from 1010 to ping 1011. Do you agree? Type, huh? I will go ping 192.168.10.11. Tell me, what do you think is going to happen? 1010 needs to know the MAC address of 1011. Yes or no? It's going to make an ARP broadcast. ARP broadcast will go through the switch. The switch from there will know the MAC address of 1010, update its MAC address table. It will make a broadcast. 1011 replies. From the reply, the switch updates its MAC address table. Type كيف. يلا ها, enter. Reply. This is 1010 يا بنات, صح? A minute ago, I said, what's your ARP table? There was no answer. Now, ARP -A. What? Oh, what's this, يا بنات? لما and this of who? Of this IP address, صح ولا لا? Yes or no? Tell me. Yes, تمام. So now at least I know the, okay, I know the MAC address of who? Of this. Does that make sense? طيب, now if I go to this guy, ARP -A, do you think he knows the MAC address of device 1010? Yes. صح ولا لا? Good. This MAC address belongs to what? Which device? 1010. طيب يا بنات, did you notice that? Okay, here, I'll go here, 1010. I'll just put it, يعني later maybe we need it. Good. I'll just put it because we are teaching you today data link layer, صح? Good. طيب, what about the switch? Do you remember the switch? When we asked him, when we asked the switch a minute ago, what's your MAC address table? It said, I don't know anything, right? But now what is happening? The switch knows who's connected to port 01. The switch knows who's connected to port 2. And the switch knows who's connected to what? Type. Yeah, Banat, can you tell me this B101 is the MAC address of which device? The router itself or port of the router? GI 00 of the router. Does that make sense? There صار بينهم شيء. They talk to each other. From this discussion, they knew what? So both of them updated their tables, and maybe the router updated its MAC address table. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, how to delete the MAC address table of the device? Sorry, the ARP table of a device. ARP -D. Now, if I ping again, there will be ARP broadcast. صح ولا لا? Because the devices, huh? I'll go here and say ARP -D. I'll go to the switch, يا بنات. Okay, even here, if I click with this one, is okay, MAC address table. طيب. Now, I'll go to the switch CLI. Look at this. Enable conf T. تمام? How to see the contents of the MAC address table of the switch, not from the privilege mode. Show MAC dash address table. Are you satisfied? What's the command, يا بنات? Show MAC address table. Clear MAC dash address what? What are the two commands so far you know? Now the MAC address table is empty. Do you all agree? The ARP tables are empty. صح ولا لا? So where I'm going to take you to simulation, and simulation I'm going to show you only specific filters. معايا بنات. ICMP for which commands? For ping protocol. And I need ARP. Does that make sense? So ping uses which protocol? ICMP. I need what? Also ARP. تمام? Good? طيب. So now, if I go to this device and I try to ping, what's going to happen? Tell me. I am at 1010. I want to ping 1011. What's going to happen? Tell me. Close this first. I am at 1010 now. Do you think 1010 is going to make a broadcast? Tamam. So ping 192.168.10.11. Yes or no? Enter. Yalla, run. Look at it. What broadcast is this? Ping or ARP? Can you ping before ARP finishes? Do you see the broadcast of ARP now? What's the MAC address of the ARP frame now? Is it all F? The reply came back from who? So at this moment, do you think the switch updated its MAC address table? It was empty a minute ago. Yes or no? But at this moment, do you think this device updated its what? And do you think also this device updated its what also? I cannot open this because. But did you see how things work? Tamam. Good. طيب, huh? I will reset simulation. I'll go here. I would say here, ping 10.1, which is the router. Yes or no? صح ولا لا? Now, it will send the broadcast. And the data link layer, the frame, destination MAC address is all F. Who's going to reply? The router's port. Yes or no? With the MAC address of port GI00. Yes. Maybe someone changed it, but not to the sender. To everyone else but the sender. Maybe بس ما لها شالت لي الكيبل وحطت. You get this? Does that make sense? So now, see, the MAC address table is the router added now. So now for the switch, it knows. Does the switch knows anything about 13 here? 13 نايم صح ولا لا? No one knows anything about 13, right? So now reset simulation. Let us see. Now I'll go here and try to ping which device يا بنات? 13. Good. Yalla. ARP. Look at the switch table يا بنات. Huh? Live. And I will also open this ARP-A. It was empty a minute ago. Wow. Now it knows the MAC address of 1010. The switch is updating itself. Do you see it here? So this is the life of a switch and people inside the LAN. Did you understand this? Banat, is it clear? Yes. If you understand this, خلاص, now you can do so many things. This is how traffic is happening inside what? A LAN. Not everything, but this is the main thing when it comes to protocols and communication protocols. Good? I'll go back to real time, ya banat. What's the command to see the MAC address table of the switch? Again, tell me. Show. يا بنات, show MAC واعطوه مع 11. Tab. How to clear it? Clear what? MAC address table. على فكرة, the switch has ARP table. Huh? Show what? Show what? Empty. فاضي. تمام? But if you make some traffic, maybe the ARP table of the switch will be what? I'll make some traffic. I'll make some ping. Good. one ping. طبعا everything will go through the switch. Yes or no? طب I'll go to the switch now and say show ARP. Still empty. Show ARP. The switch استنوا شوي. Show what? I will. The switch. Okay. نسينا نحط شغله للسwitch. What is it? VLAN 1. Do we need to give an IP address to the switch for management? Do you remember this? I'll go to the switch. Yalla, help me to it. بسرعة. Conf T. Yes or no? interface VLAN 1, yes or no? I'll give the IP address, just take it. IP address 192.168.10.10.254. Does that make sense? And 255, 255, 255, 0. No shuts. Now the switch has an IP address, management address, virtual, but it's an IP address. So now from the switch, if you decide to ping anyone, you're using ping, صح ولا لا? Ping uses IP address, huh? Ping 192.168.10.10. The switch will make what? Some kind of what? It needs to know what? Do you see the ARP table of the switch now? Do you get this? Do you see? Look at it. The ARP table of the switch here. The switch knows who? Itself, the VLAN 1, and who? And they tell you how long do they know it. Banat, don't expect the MAC address table and the ARP tables to remain forever. Depending on the operating system and the switch models and all these things, after some time they refresh. And this is a very good idea to keep it what? Refreshed. I think Windows for ARP tables, Windows maybe 90 seconds, not more than 90 seconds. Does that make sense? Good. So now, do you see how ARP and these things work? Do you see this? So now, if I ask you, is 12 was part of it? Now, I'll tell you, Abanat, what's the MAC address of 12? Tell me what's the MAC address of 12. طبعا you can come to 12 here وتروح لي على what? Physical, and we go to the network card. أو ممكن you think you are very smart. You say IP config. Oh, I am very smart, صح? And they give you the IP config, right? Do you see a MAC address here? This is not a MAC address, Abanat. What is it? How do you get the MAC address on real computers? /all. ممتاز يا bravo. The problem is /all does not work in packet trace. Good. Okay. طيب, which is for a reason. طيب, بس I still يا سيدتي, I need to know the MAC address of 12. Give me a. This is used to be exam question. هلا كله بيجاوب. ما فهمت. اعطيني هيك حل. قولي لي. If we try to communicate with it, I will try to communicate with it from here, from 13. I will try to ping who? Ping 12. Yes or no? 168.10.12. Is the MAC address of 12 available in the ARP table of 13? طيب خلاص يعني, is it clear now? Okay, so I just need to go to real time, huh? Is it clear now? How, يعني one simple way how you do it. Just make any traffic now, huh? ARP minus A. Is it available? So if I ask you what's the MAC address of 12, now you know. Even you can ask who also. You can ask the switch, show what? Show MAC address table. Does that make sense? Who is connected to port 4? Whatever. Yani you know the port number, but you cannot open the device. You cannot. But you can know the MAC address from what? From other ARP tables. Does that make sense, ya banat? Even the router, ya banat. Huh? This is the router. Look. Show. If you don't know the command, show question mark. Is there ARP here? If you don't know, huh? Show ARP. What's this? This ARP table of who? It knows 10.1, which is itself, yes or no? And what else? So now, if someone sends anything from outside the LAN to this guy, the router knows the MAC address of this guy. And when did the router know it? 3 minutes ago. Do you get this? You get my point? Okay. And where to send it from for the router? This device is connected to which port? To GI00. صح ولا لا يا بنات? يعني if the router wants to send anything to 10.10, it will forward it through which port? GI00. Do you get this? ماشي الحال. تمام. Is this clear? I saved this one. What is today? OCT 8/24, right? Good. And this has been what?